What is up, everybody? We are live with a campaign that we are bringing to you through the magic of the internet. Yes, super excited to be here with a brand new cast, brand new story, a brand new campaign setting. As you may have seen in our marketing materials that we provided in the manila envelope under the door, we are going to Tal'dorei, which Jacob tells me is set on the world of Alexandria.
I gotta go. Good night, everyone.
I have very obviously done my research, so this should be a very interesting campaign for me to run. But before we get into all of the really cool announcements that we have, a lot of the nitty gritty of amphitheater stuff, I would like to introduce you to this lovely cast. Why don't we start out with Rain? Who are you and where can we find you?
I am Rain. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok under Virgo_Rain, RAYNE.
Very cool. Alex.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alex, or you can find me on Twitter. That's the name of the social media. You can tell I do this all the time. Twitter and TikTok as Ziva RPG. I don't post on TikTok that much, but you can find me there. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Mr. Smitty.
Hey everyone, it's Smitty. You can find me outside Bill's front door at 3 a.m. or on Twitter as @PPSmitty.
If there's a way to unsubscribe to the first one, is there a way to do that or no?
And you should not look at your ring camera tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. And last but not least, the man on the ones and twos running tech for this entire campaign that is indefinite. It will go for an infinite amount of time, Mr. Jacob.
I mean, I'm actually totally down with that because that means that I don't have to run the game on Tuesday nights. So I'm totally fine with that. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Plick, Dual King Jacob on the Twitters and the Instas, and co-founded this shenanigans. Happy to be here. Been a long time coming. Really, really excited to blow this campaign up in many ways for Bill. And for you.
And I am looking forward to that. So not only are we here as a group of 5 cool friends, but we got here also with the help of some of our fantastic artist friends. So you'll notice our overlays were done by Happy Cap. Maria, thank you very much. They are fantastic and beautiful. Lynn at Gremlin Art is currently working on our character art and super duper excited. We've seen some hints of what's coming, and those will be released shortly. And then we do have Maddie to thank for the promo that you probably saw on Twitter, but also the intro that we are going to be kicking to here in a little bit. One other thing to mention is that we are affiliates. Is it affiliates? Affiliated with?
Yeah.
We're affiliates. With two really cool organizations. The Start Playing organization, which is essentially like for those of you that really want to play but haven't been able to find a group, it's a great way to basically log in and find places that are running games on a pretty regular basis. It's so we do have a link that we can drop into chat here pretty soon, as well as Session Zero. So if you're Session Zero is a clothing organization. They call them organizations, but some people know them as companies, where you can trade money for goods and services, namely in this situation, clothes, specifically related to D&D and TTRPGs and that sort of stuff. So yeah, check those out. Now, the big announcement is that as of tonight, up until tonight, let me start it that way, we have had kind of an internal Discord, and it's been a really cool place for all of us to just kind of bullshit with each other, and mostly for me and Smitty to make jokes at each other. But tonight we are going to be opening it up to everybody. So looks like Nightbot Jacob actually put this into the
Not by
chat.
Jacob. Yes, exactly.
So
Go me.
now, a couple of disclosures about this. I was the one in charge of all the tech on how to do everything. So if you have kind of cringed throughout the entire beginning presentation of tonight, just imagine that the level of like attention to detail that I have put into this intro it's probably the same with Discord. So fingers crossed that it works, and just keep me honest if it doesn't. So yeah. Now to move on to the next portion of it. Actually, let me see where the box is because I don't have this. Yeah. So like all the way up here, there is the Ko-fi link, and so a couple of things about this. So we have previously had subscriptions to Ko-fi, and we've had moderate success to the level of dedication that we provided for those subscribers. For Ko-fi subscribers, we're going to do a couple of things. One is I am actually going to be very dedicated about creating GM notes, which will be a first for any of the campaigns that I've run. And I will be sending those out to subscribers as well. There's also updated Discord privileges associated with that. So those of you that do subscribe can get cool things like a place for you to shoot us over NPC ideas or item submissions, or even access to cool secret chats. And if we meet $500 for our Ko-fi, then we're going to, what do we decide, Jacob? We're going to do like a behind the scenes after school kind of Jacob and I will just sort of answer questions. And with the chat, with the cast, I don't know. We haven't talked about that, but it will be super cool. Don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, cool. So I think that's everything. Jacob, am I forgetting anything?
No. I think you about nailed it. Not too shabby, sir. It's like you've been looking for a game or something before, or a stream or something before, you know?
It'll get ironed out as the episodes go along. I was telling everybody just before this that like I was deferring a lot of the anxiety until like the last 5 minutes, and then it all hit me, and I was like, I have to go. But anyways,
Just go,
speaking of going, oh, Jacob, I didn't tell you about this. So you had in Eulalia, like let's tell a red ball story.
Yeah.
So
what do you got for me?
All right, I'm gonna try this out.
Oh.
Let's go on an adventure.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right.
Out of 10.
All right, we'll work that one out too.
And we're out.
right. So in previous years, today would have been a celebration. In previous years, the harvest was plentiful. The townsfolk of Turst Fields were going into the winter with full silos, full wallets, and full bellies. Today was meant to be a jubilantly celebration, that fullness in a way that, thanks to the townfolk for their contributions to the well-being of the continent, while marking the transition from the harvest season into the winter season. Oh, not full screen. Sorry, ruining the magic. But this year is different. The drought has made this year's harvest pitiful by comparison to the plentiful years past. So welcome to the feast, a somewhat ironically named celebration in the Turst Fields. The town itself is known as the breadbasket of Tal'dorei, the place where a majority of the food is grown for the entire continent. Grains, wheat, corn, and other types of vegetables are normally planted in rows miles long, dotting the rolling landscape all the way from West Rune to Drinna. And the only feature corrupting the sight of that brilliant yellows and greens under an azure sky is usually the heavily traveled Pathwood Way, which is the main route between West Rune and Drinna. But due to the drought, the fields browned and the traffic on the Parchwood Way lessened, which increased the presence and the desperation of bandits along the way. And to make matters worse, the garrison of the Shields, which are the West Rune-backed security force historically stationed in Turst Fields for protection, has been called back to West Rune, as there were other more strategically advantageous locations for deployment, as the town was told when they left. A single squadron remains, which was interpreted more as a symbolic gesture more so than a practical one. But that said, the resilient residents of Turst Fields are in good spirits. They're determined to make this feast as successful as it can be, and the town reflects that determination. The town is built around a communal area that is sometimes a market, sometimes a park, and as it is right now, the central event area for this feast. There are vendor stalls scattered throughout the area, multicolored banners and decorations just covering about every rectangular space available. And amongst the stalls are anything you'd hope to find, be it fragrant baked goods, fresh picked produce, weapons and armor, as well as potions and magical items. And the surrounding buildings, typically pubs, inns, and restaurants, have seating spilling out into the common area and are serving what little food they have available in an effort to keep spirits up. And the rest of the surrounding town is preparing for a parade to march through the streets, while the spectators gather either along the parade routes or in the common area to get a taste of the facilities. Which brings us to our friends here. So, Rain, your character is entering the town for the first time. What do you think? Actually, first, why don't you give maybe a physical description and your character's name, and then what you think they would be doing upon kind of seeing what's going on at the moment.
Sure. So her name is Big Mama Mocha. You can call her Big Mama, or her really good friends would just call her Mocha. She is a halfling, only 3 feet tall, but she's like 150 pounds almost. So she's very shapely, because you would consider a sphere a shape. So she has like wrinkled brown skin, from the sun, living out in the swamps of the Catal swamp, in fact, is where she hails from. Thick dreadlocks, very much like a swamp witch, voodoo queen-ish kind of thing. She'd be very southern, very happy, vibrant, bright green eyes. And she has a crown of like mistletoe that she has around her brow. And just very normal, just basic brown robes, and there is a couple of trinkets that she has around her waist, and she has like a staff that she uses. What she does notice is when she comes in, since she's been more so of a hermit, it's loud. She's not used to all these tall people just hustling, bustling around here. So she's going to see what she can do while she's here. Most likely get maybe a little scotia, something to eat, something to drink.
Well, that's perfect then, because right right as you come into the town, I'm assuming probably from the Parchwood Way, you do find a smattering of inns and restaurants and whatnot that do spill out into the communal area. And you can find there are definitely people that are kind of sitting. In fact, there's a trio of older gentlemen that are sitting there playing some dice, and you do see like a kind of older distinguished man with this very large beard, and it's kind of like grayish and a little salt and peppery, and he's got these big glasses on, and he's currently sipping some ale. But as you kind of look into the center area, it is, to your point, very hustle and bustle. There's people kind of carrying things in one direction. There's the servers at the restaurant are carrying the drinks and the foods to the people that's inside the restaurant. And perhaps this might also be something that Big Mama would not notice or be familiar with, is not just the sounds, but the smells. It is very pungent in both the good and the bad ways, where, somebody that very obviously hasn't showered in a long time is walking past you, but also then somebody comes and brings just a delicious pie right next to you as well. It is extremely, let's call it vibrant. So what do you think? She comes in, and is there something that strikes her fancy? Is she going to be trying to do something?
What she pulls out from one of her packs looks like a big, like a journal. And so she kind of like just looks through it, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go here. She's gonna eat. She's gonna go and have her 11 C's. I don't know what time of day it is. I'm sorry, I never asked.
That's another thing that is pretty constant. I actually have to write this down because I tend to forget what time it is. But yeah, let's say it is 11 o'clock. I like that.
All right, so it sounds like there's gonna be bottomless ale here for brunch, mixed with 11 Z's, biscuits and gravy.
All right, cool. So I am going to leave Big Mama for the moment as she sits down at one of the restaurants. And you said you're going to get an ale and something else?
Lots of food.
Lots of food.
One of each.
All right, great. Okay, perfect. Now we are going to go to Smitty. Smitty, would you mind giving a description of your character as well as their name?
Second is a smaller than average Kenku, a shade under 5 feet tall, luminous black and bluish feathers framing his somewhat chubby face. He is adorned in silverish chainmail that is far too big for him, and draped over it is a white cloak which stretches past all but the ends of his fingertip wings. On his back, there is a shield emblazoned with a kind of stylized phoenix. Very large eyes sit atop his rounded beak, and they look about somewhat sheepishly, somewhat shy. He kind of totters from one foot to another, somehow inadvertently getting in the way of everyone while trying to get out of their way, and looks around, wanting to talk, to interact, but ultimately just kind of shuffles into a corner, watching everyone move by.
Okay. Now, forgive me because I think we kind of talked a little bit about this over chat prior to this, but so my thought would be, and let me know if you kind of disagree with this, but my thought would be that you would probably be in the same sort of place where Big Mama would be, around where the folks that would be coming from the traveling area. So I'm thinking possibly you would be sitting at one of these restaurants as well.
I think he'd probably be standing around the edge of the restaurant after, realizing there wasn't much for them to get into on the street. So they likely moved maybe towards the restaurant, finding it to be somewhat of a more or less raucous place, more approachable to meet people.
Yeah, and how are they feeling about that hustle and bustle? From what I know about Second, they are not terribly familiar with this.
I mean, they're used to the comings and goings. They were raised in a town between the Umbra Hills and the Don Mist Pines, where there were a fair number of missionaries and pilgrims making their way to and fro, but certainly nothing of this size, and definitely not of this nature. There's a lot more color, both in clothing and language, than perhaps Second is used to.
Okay, great. So maybe you're kind of around where that group of three older gentlemen are playing dice, and you are listening to their conversation. You can tell that they are sort of elder farmers that are talking about the struggles of what's going on with the farms, and kind of throwing around their theories about why there is this drought. At the same time, you do see a very small, plump, shapely halfling come in with this big staff and walk to the restaurant that's directly opposite you, like kitty corner, not like adjacent to you. And yeah, so what would you like to do?
Second, we'll walk up to the farmers playing dice.
Sure.
Look around at them and smile, and then say, "Games are the venue of an unfocused mind." And then smile.
Okay, so the three of them have noticed you, kind of standing there, and but have not really made a lot of thought about you, because they're very, very much engaged in the game. And as you say this, they all kind of look up and then look at each other and then look up and say, one of them, who is completely bald, with actually very tan skin, as though they've been out in the sun for a long time, with little tufts of hair right around the ears, and very, very drab clothing. He looks up at you and says, my mind is pretty focused on winning this game. And he kind of looks over at the others and cackles with laughter and rolls the dice again.
Second begins to back away slowly from the group of farmers, not having made the impression he was hoping to, and probably backs all the way over, bumping into Big Mama Mocha's table.
Okay. So Big Mama, you see this Kenku kind of back up, and your table moves a little bit. Thankfully, you have not received your ale, but one of the they came and put some bread on your table in this big mound, and one of the pieces of bread fell off onto the top of the table.
When you bump into somebody, it is, she opens her book, customary for you to say, "Excuse me." So.
Oh, now you really stuck your neck out on a limb this time, Second.
Who are you referring to?
Second.
Let me guess. Your name is second. Honey, where I come from, you should never consider yourself second to anybody.
You see their smile turn to a bit of a pursed beak. And their head lowers a little bit. And they just kind of sit there, shaking slightly.
Dawn, are you hungry? So she takes some of the bread. And she's familiar with kind of like bird-like creatures, but not necessarily kinkus. So she's like, holds it out, kind of just gestures towards him to take it. Here you go.
I'll get up. I'll sit in one of the chairs. I'll take the piece of bread onto a plate and start cutting it up with a fork and smile at you.
Also, if he has table manners, I will absolutely jot that down. All right.
And right at that moment, your ale comes as well as I don't know, what would you have ordered?
One of each.
Okay.
On the menu. But so
right.
that'd be like, meats, cheeses, a whole charcuterie board, if that was available.
Yeah, so it is. There's a lot of pickled stuff. There is a charcuterie platter. They brought out a pie that is absolutely delightful. You can see the steam is rising up, and it is for both of you that are sitting at this table one of the most wonderful. You don't know what's inside, but it smells delicious.
Generosity is the province of the heavenly Seren Ray. Gluttony is not. And I will begin to dig into some of the food.
And just big moment, just right and just like
All right.
Stars.
Okay, we're gonna zoom out and we're gonna focus on Jacob, your character. If you wouldn't mind a physical description, and then I will take the reins for a sec, if that's all right.
Sorry, Jabal, I apologize. Crystal and Brett said you're muted.
Never mind. I didn't unmute myself in OBS. So let's start that one more time. So, anyway, so Cinnabon is about 4'6". He is covered in black and brown, black and dark brown fur because he's a Haragon. And he's typically wearing a light brown piece of studded leather armor, has a small buckler that he keeps on him most of the time, and a large, gnarled looking staff that has this like reddish sort of like heartbeat of a glow, dark, intelligent brown eyes, and kind of, it seems like it's almost like he's like wearing grass, but it looks like it's like the like a really dirty looking shirt kind of covered in grass typically.
All right. Cinnabon, you awaken slowly, almost as if the lights were dimmed and then are now coming back on. And the first thing that you notice is that the area around you is small and white. And you seem to be kind of blinded by how brightly the white curtains now you realize are around you. And behind, you can tell that these pearly white curtains are parted in a little bit, and so you can tell that you're in a larger room, just that is partitioned into something smaller. And then you look over to your left, and you notice that by your bedside, you now realize, is your belongings are neatly arranged. And now that your vision has sort of gotten normalized, you notice that there is a smell in the air. And it is this curious smell of aggressive cleanliness. And then you hear something, which is footsteps, kind of pacing back and forth, somewhat seems like aimlessly outside.
Hello?
The footsteps stop, and then they come towards you, and then you could see the curtains are pulled back, and standing is a human woman with very close cropped dark hair, with golden chains kind of woven throughout the hair itself. And they have this tightly cinched white robe that is around them, and there is a golden inlay pretty much all throughout the entire white robe. And at the moment, she kind of is holding a staff, and at the top of the staff there is a symbol that you don't recognize, but it is definitely a symbol of some sort of I don't know, like, it's not a figurine, but it's the shape. And she looks surprised, and she says, "Oh, you're up. Welcome."
I suppose I am. First of all, who are you, and where, by chance, am I currently?
Oh, you don't know? Oh, and she
No.
enters. And as she enters, she kind of pulls the curtains all the way back. And you can see that you can see that you're in a pretty large room, and there are a number of beds very similar to the one that you're currently sitting in. And you would assume that this is some sort of hospital or urgent care, fantasy urgent care. And there is a doorway that kind of leads out into a hallway, but you can't see around it. And she pulls up a stool and sits next to you and says, "So you don't know where you are or how you got here?"
No, I don't. Am I like injured right now, or am I like?
No,
Okay.
no, you feel fine.
Okay. All right. So, last thing that I remember was being on the road, and things got a little dicey, and then bonk on the head, and I'm here. So, I suppose you're probably the one that resolved that for me.
No, not at all. In fact, you were delivered here by somebody. They were, I guess, traveling, and they picked you up, I suppose, and brought you here. Does that sound right?
No. By the way, he kind of like points to his ears and his face.
Yes.
By chance, did any of them look a bit like me?
No, I was going to get to that at some point. You're rather unusual.
I suppose that's fair. I've not really been in it. I believe you call this Alexandria. For much of the time. I don't actually know the answer to that question because I don't know exactly how long I've been here per se. So, yeah.
Well, I will say you are, you're in the Turst Fields, which is in the northern part of the Tal'dorei continent, and which I imagine you probably knew because you were going along the roads. So you probably weren't too far away. Well, I will say you've been here for maybe about 3 days or so,
All right.
resting, and I've been watching over you since then.
All right. So that means that I've been in Alexandria proper for about 2 weeks. If that's a little bit plus or minus a few. Right.
Wait,
That's
wait, wait, wait,
wonderful.
wait. What
Hmm?
do you
Don't
mean
worry about
by
it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
what? Okay. She looks proper confused when you're like, I've only been in this world for 2 weeks. So she then kind of like gives you one of these looks and then says, well, you are here at a good time. It is the feast for the feast is happening, so you probably will have a good
There's a
time
feast.
here. Oh yes, it's a very well. It used to be a very exciting time. This year's
Oh.
a little bit less full than it usually was in the past years, but you'll still have a good time. There should be a parade and food and drink and laughing. I'm sure there's lots of stuff. Do you like laughing?
Do I like what?
Laughing.
I love laughing.
Okay. Because I'm getting a weird vibe. But yes,
Oh.
that's
Well, if
That's-
it makes you feel better, see, I've actually not had a feast here before, so I really actually don't have any context for whether it's been better in previous years. So, as a matter of fact, it's only positives from here.
that sounds great. Well, in that case, I mean, you are physically healed.
Wonderful.
But-
That's great. Now, is it customary to pay you for your services? Is that sort of where we're headed?
No. This is a progressive land where healthcare is free. It is a human right. So fuck that noise.
Oh,
But no. You do not have to pay for the services. But I will say, although you're physically healed, I do sense an emotional detachment in you.
really?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure I can place it, but it feels as though your soul is missing something. As I was watching over you, I don't know. I feel as though you have pain, perhaps that you haven't discovered yet.
I believe this is something my father would say we need to do over drinks.
I don't drink, but thank you.
Great, neither do I. Tea then.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get off my shift later and we can do that. But
Awesome, wonderful.
I will say the best thing for somebody with a piece of pain that you're holding on to is finding fresh air and a purpose.
I love
because-
both of those things.
Dedication to a cause is an extremely powerful cure.
All right. I don't even know what the soul thing that you're referring to is, so I'm looking forward to discovering what I've lost, I suppose. If I have indeed lost it, that is.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's nothing.
You're right. We agree on everything so far.
I love this. Okay. And well, let me show you to the door. And she kind of gets up.
All right.
And
Thank
you
you for
can
your.
hear.
Have a wonderful day.
Yep. And you head out. Now, this little hospital of sorts is maybe like 2 blocks away from the main activity. Turffields is not a very large town, but you feel as though there is a heavy concentration of the population right in the center, as we were talking about before. So because this is your first time seeing what's going on, you see all the sort of stuff that I described before, loud, lots of action that's happening, people carrying things. And so how does that strike Cinnabon?
Odd. Very new. He's really only been to one city before this. He's a little anxious, but he's trying to sort of like breathe through it. And As he does that, he actually opens the door again to the hospital.
Oh,
For
okay.
just a sec. Pardon me. One last thing. Not that I have any right to ask for additional favors from you, certainly. Do you happen to have cardboard and charcoal?
Cardboard and charcoal.
The bigger the better.
I believe I have some cardboard, but the only charcoal I have is it's for like against tummy aches.
Right, like the tablets type stuff. Got it.
Yes.
What about just a writing utensil?
Oh yes, we have lots of those. Yes.
All right, perfect.
So she goes in the back and she you can hear like the tearing of some of the cardboard and picks it out, and she brings something that is, you know, probably you said you're 5 feet tall. It's
4'6".
I'm sorry, 4'6". It's as tall as you are.
Great. And he will take and write in big, bold letters, "Lost Haragon family," and then numbers and just writes the number 9 missing.
Okay.
And
was
then-
that you calculating how many there were?
Yep. And I did it to myself. And thank you so much. And walks out the door and will begin walking to and then breathing forward and has a sign up and out.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So we're gonna leave Cinnabon as he's got the sign over his head, and we're gonna go over to Alex. If you wouldn't mind giving a description of your character.
It would be my pleasure. You see a 3.5 foot tall halfling gentleman, long wavy auburn hair with a little bits of grays in it, salt and ginger I like to call it, that kind of like draped down, kind of crow's feet on the eyes, a little bit older, wearing studded leather armor that is more auburn, that is very well kept. There are some like cuts into it. It's well worn, but it's very well kept. It's too shiny for how old this armor looks. He is kind of carrying like a satchel with him on his back, and really excited about this feast. He is a local. He's coming into town, kind of seeing all the sights, making a little bit of a delivery. And is going to all the old haunts, saying hi to people. Definitely that dad that goes to farmers markets and knows everybody there. That
Awesome.
kind of vibe.
Very cool. So I do need to get a little bit of info, and I apologize. I probably should have done this prior to start, but what is the name of your partner?
Yeah, my partner, his name is Balthazar.
Balthazar.
And
I mean, of course.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And we own a leathery, is that the correct term? A leather making shop?
I think
Something
Tanner?
like that. Tanner, that sounds about right. But it's called Leathars. It's a mouthful. It gets their names back and forth. It's very confusing, but he likes it, so he kind of rolls with it.
Very cool. Okay, so the last question that I had for you is whether there is does Balthazar when he makes a leather product, is there a way that he imparts his own personal signature into it? Is there some sort of because I'm thinking, as you're doing this delivery, it could just be any leather armor.
Yeah, there's a little signet on the inside that he cuts in as kind of like a little moniker that is his initials. Kind of like he treats leather as kind of like an artwork, like an art form. He's kind of like a painter, signs it at the bottom. But his Balthazar Sunhelm, so it just says BS on it, and he finds that hilarious. So it's a nice little moniker on the inside, a little patch almost that's kind of like cut in with as a little signature.
Cool. Very awesome. Okay, so you are in the process of making a delivery, and you've done this many times before as kind of the operations person as it relates to your husband's business, and but I don't know. You tell me, is this the first time that you've had somebody with the code word?
This is pretty much like we've had like weird deliveries before, but there usually has like a location and a code name or something like that, like a little bit more. This just says a code name, and that's a little bit weird. I'm
Yes.
just kind of going into town trying to figure that out.
Okay. So the code name is Yeti.
Writing it down.
And
Perfect.
so you are on your general travels, as you mentioned. You're kind of the dad that goes and like mingles with the farmers market people. You know the servers at the restaurants. You know some of the people that are kind of in charge of the festival itself, because again, you're a local. It's a pretty small town, and Balthazar creates a really solid product, and so it is well respected inside of the community. So you now, how would you go about? I mean, you tell me. Like, what are you? Would you ask people about? Hey, looking for a Yeti?
Yeah, I think I would just go up to like servers and things of that sort. I figured like if someone had a code word, like a code name, they might check into like an inn or like put down a reservation at a restaurant under that name, just to kind of like give little hints here or there. So I might go up to like servers or innkeepers and say like, hey, have you heard of any Yetis around lately? Just kind of like try to be nonchalant if he can. He's not very good at it. This is the first time trying to be like trying to find someone with a code name only.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Why don't you make a you know what? Let's do a persuasion roll. First roll of the campaign.
First roll, let's
Persuasion.
go.
All right, here goes nothing. That is a 5. Natural
right.
2. Let's go.
All right. So with a 5 for your persuasion, I think it takes you a significant amount of time to go around. You are, maybe what this is you're not really in a hurry, because you're catching up on gossip and you're talking to people, and you may mention it casually, but most people probably don't understand that that you are trying to find somebody. You say the word Yeti and they're just sort of like, whatever. Yeah. So did you hear about the guy that left his pants behind?
Clarence? Oh, I heard about Clarence, man. Like,
Clarence cannot keep his pants tied. It's so funny when he gets drunk.
It's like it's not that hard. There's a nice little waist belt. You could just I don't know what it does.
So that's what's kind of going on. But then I think probably within about 30-45 minutes, you come to a one of the innkeepers that you don't really like, because they're a little bit salty. And I think especially now they have become much more salty because of the economic status of the current year. There's not as many visitors inside of their inn, and so he's kind of a little bit frustrated about that. And you see him standing, smoking a big pipe, like a comically large pipe. And he is not very tall for a human, so he's right around 5 feet. So probably just a little bit taller than you, but he's got this big hat that is it's like this yellow colored sun hat that he's kind of got on the back of his head, and he's leaning up against the wall, and you can tell, because you know him, the scour that he's giving is, look at these idiots getting ready for their feast. So you come up to him and you casually, well, actually, let's act it out. He says, Ozen.
Do I know his name? Well, should I?
Yeah, his name is Silas.
Silas, amazing. How's it going, Silas? Great seeing you. I love the smile. The sun hat looks great on you.
What is it? What do you want?
Oh, I'm just making delivery, and I've, you know, I know it's been a little bit warm around here, but have you seen any? Kind of looks. He's so bad at this. Just looking around like Yetis around as of late.
Yetis. What are you talking about? That's mountains. Wait a second. Yeah, well, I haven't seen any Yetis, but I did see an extremely tall, extremely tall man that was kind of carrying a big coat around him, and yeah, I saw him kind of skulking around the horse stables. So he was dressed in all white, and he had this staff next to him. I don't know, that's the only person I could think of that would match a Yeti description.
That's really good to know. Silas, I never thought of you to be the observant type. I'm very proud of you.
Very observant, especially as it relates to people that come and eat the food that should really be for people like you and me, the locals.
I mean, everyone's welcome here in Terrace Fields.
I guess, just as long as they're paying good money.
Even if they don't, and then it kind of like slowly backs away. Like,
so the stables themselves are a little bit far out of the town, but not far. I mean, this is probably like a 15-minute walk from where you're currently standing. And so it takes you 15 minutes. You get outside of the field of the town center, and you head right over to the actually I didn't want to make that choice for you. Maybe there's something else you'd like to do.
no, I think I think this is like he's getting there like relatively like before noon kind of a deal, just trying to like socialize, get this job done, and then like hang out because it's a feast. He wants to mingle a little bit, grab some beers for home, that kind of deal.
Okay.
So I think this is like top priority for Hosen is to track this down, make the transaction, and kind of go from there.
Okay.
Plus,
cool.
this like parcel's like heavy, so he wants to get it off his back.
Yeah, sure. All right, great. So as you approach the stables, have you been here before?
The stable's probably not like doesn't know like the people running it, just kind of sees it on the way to town and whatnot.
Sure. Okay, great. So I think you as you approach, it's you're kind of walking through some of that field that last year was very vibrant and rich, but now, especially after the harvest, right, like they took a lot of the wheat that you would normally be walking through, and you're kind of crunching on this dead the dead remnants of the wheat from a month ago or something. And you're looking at this building that is relatively small. It has about 3 stalls inside of it, and there are 2 doors on either side of the stables. You do know that on the other side of it there is kind of an open thing so that the horses that are inside of it can see out. But the side that you're approaching is blank. There's no windows or anything like that.
Yeah, I kind of there's no windows or anything. Can I kind of investigate? Do I hear, like, besides like the crunching of the feet, like me crunching the ground below me, do I hear some more crunching around?
So yeah, make a perception check.
Cool. That is a 15.
Okay. With a 15, you are pretty certain that there are no other sounds being made. You pay attention as hard as you can. And do you stop as you're trying to like do this perception?
No, I think like I continue on a little bit.
Okay.
What would Hosen do? I think Hosen's terrible at this. I think he would just be like, "Hello, is there a Yeti here?" Just kind of like an Uber driver, just trying to like find a person. Just like, is there a Yeti? Are you Yeti? Just like trying to.
Okay. All right. I think as you approach and you say this out loud, you see the door that's on the left open up, and a hooded head pokes out, and then you see that actually, Silas did do it enough justice. He's probably close to 7 feet tall, and the robe is not just white, but there is almost an azure color that goes along with it, and it's sort of like whitish blue. And you can tell that Silas also got the staff wrong. He does not have a staff, but there is a very large sort of bulge underneath the riding cloak that indicates some sort of large weapon.
Hello. Greetings. Hi. Just keep saying hello in like different ways. Just kind of nervous.
What are you doing? Have you never dealt with a code name before? I have given you a code name. You're screaming it.
I'm so sorry. I've just we've gotten code names before, but at least like a drop off point or something. This kind of new for me. I kind of take the. Do you want to go inside? Do we want to?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Come inside.
Cool. I go inside the horse stable.
Okay. All right. Great. So you get inside the horse stable, and as you can imagine, there is one little pathway that goes along the side of the wall that had nothing on it, and then there are 3 horses, one in each of the stalls, and you can see that 2 of them are barebacked, and one of them has some like saddle. That's the word. Is like strapped with a saddle and is ready to go. Like you can see that the saddle bags are packed and all that. And the reins are currently wrapped around one of the poles inside of the stable, and he gets right behind that horse, in that little hallway, not in the stable, in the stall itself, and he looks at you and says, "All right, so yeah, give it to me."
I kind of take it out. I start to hand it towards him. I was like, pleasure doing business. What interests you in such fine quality goods?
Well, we'll see if it's fine in quality. And he picks up the leather and sort of like inspects it. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives that like customer service, like, got it. Okay, like I see how this is.
And I gave you my dimensions. Is it going to fit?
It should. Balthazar is very precise. It should fit perfectly.
Okay. Well, I prefer to put it on, and would you mind helping? And he takes off his hood, and then sort of unclasps the thing that holds the riding cloak together, and folds that over the wall. And you could tell that now he is a very broad-shouldered man that has, muscles upon muscles, extremely strong, and a completely bald head. But it seems like it's purposeful that he, has no hair on top of his head, and the structure around his eye sockets is just pronounced, and so it's like an incredibly serious looking, scary dude. And
gotcha. So hot. Cool. Good to
know. And you can also see that the weapon that he has is a great sword with this really wide hilt. The not shin guards, fist guards. The thing that goes across like this.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. So it's like I think the pommel's on the back of it. Anyway, so you could tell that it's very ornate, and it is very well crafted, and so you intuit that this is a man that really appreciates good craftsmanship. And so then once he does take this off, you can also see that he's got a very tight-fitting vest on, and he kind of reaches down to grab the leather vest and then hands it to you, turns his back, and then it kind of stands there expectingly.
Yeah, I kind of gather the armor pieces, start putting things on him, looking at dimensions. As I'm kind of like putting this stuff on him, can I take a closer look at the sword to see if I recognize anything about it?
Sure. Why don't you roll? Why don't you roll an investigation check?
Ooh, wee, -1. Let's go, baby. A 9.
All right. So
9.
I think it is difficult to do in the process of putting on this man's armor for him.
Yeah.
I will let you roll it again if you want to, but it will be like you will then be very obvious about it. Now, that said, I do see your passive perception, and as you are putting this thing on him, and you're being very wary about your surroundings, and especially because this person seems very strange, you do notice that there is right on his left shoulder, as you're kind of like going around and putting the leather armor on, you see that there is a symbol that has been branded onto him. And this brand, like with the hot iron, right? So like that. And I'm actually going to send this to you directly in Discord.
Ooh, incredible.
And then I want to ask you to describe what it looks like.
Secrets, I love it. Incredible.
Fine, keep your secrets.
Keep your secrets.
You're having 11sies. Calm down.
She's in a one-woman eating contest right now.
I feel like
Alright.
that's like one of everything's called a cornucopia. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah.
Borg.
Ooh, interesting. It looks like a symbol of like a sword. It's all like one line. It's very interesting. It's like a sword with a crescent moon, with like part of the hilt of the sword going through the crescent moon, like stabbing into it. Looks terrifying. Looks legit.
And
That's the best way to describe it.
just for my knowledge, if you wouldn't mind also rolling a history check, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
For that natural 20 that's happening right now. 7. All right.
Yep, you're not familiar with this.
Yeah, no. Yep.
All right. So he clasps the armor, and then he takes the cloak that he put over the wall there, and then puts that back on, clasps it around his neck again, and says, "All right, how much do I owe you?"
Good question. How much instead of leather armor? 300 gold. I don't know. That sounds about right.
Says, "No, actually, I think you would know."
Yeah.
Because you've done this a couple of times before.
Probably.
So 300 is outrageous. Did you say that as Alex, just sort of like spitballing?
Oh, that was me, Alex, spitballing.
Okay. All right. So
No
I would
quote.
probably say like around 50 is probably the right amount.
Cool. I say 75.
All right. Why don't you make a persuasion check?
All right, cool.
Look at all this D&D we're playing.
Look at all this. All the D&Ds.
All the D&D. Let's go.
Come on, dice. Give me the extra 25 gold. 20, not dirty 20.
Holy shit. All right.
That
He,
was a-
That is 20.
Dirty
He
20.
says, you know what? It fits perfectly, and it is good quality. And he
Damn straight.
reaches into one of the saddlebags and pulls out a small coin purse, and then sort of like makes sure that there's enough in there, and then tosses it over to you. And you can add 75 gold to your inventory.
Perfect. Awesome. Amazing. I'm gonna write that down. I'm just gonna write it down. real quick.
Sure. And then as he does this, he is going to hop over that little wall into the stable itself, the stall, and then get on the horse and ride off.
Pleasure doing business with you. Have a good day. Feel free to visit us again. As he's like riding off into the sunset, like just totally
Yeah.
forgets to do the plug.
As you're doing that, you could see that he begins to unsheath his greatsword as he's riding. And then you can't see him anymore. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Oh snap! A little early. Cool.
I love that.
Snap. Amazing.
Snap. So cool. So cool.
All right. So we're gonna be gone for about 10 minutes or so. Take time to get up, maybe do some stretches, get hydrated, and come back, because when we are coming back, the D&D has just begun.
The D&D continues.
It continues.
And we're out.
All right, welcome back. We have done all of the exposition that is required for this sleepy little town that has, nothing dangerous going on whatsoever. So for this next part, I'm not sure how to do it operationally from a DM perspective. So I'm going to kind of take your lead of what each one of your characters will be doing. But let me describe what happens, and then we can kind of like walk through sort of what each of your characters does, and then if that results in something, then that results in something. Okay. One question before I get into this, and Smitty, I'm very excited watching your face. So, Hosen, what do you head back to the town? Do you head back to your house? What do you do, or do you stay there, or maybe follow this guy?
I think. I think like Hosen like brings out a piece of paper or parchment and just draws out the symbol that the tattoo they saw. Just very interested about a very weird customer, weird interaction, and goes back to town. It's the feast. I think he wants to go see some of his friends. He is the extrovert of the relationship. Wants to go out, be with people. Goes, picks up beers and whatnot, and hangs out for a bit.
Cool. Yeah, and that tracks because Balthazar is the one, doing the things, and you're kind of the salesperson sort of thing. Okay, makes sense. So, before you get back to town, you let me actually kind of set the stage a little bit here on this side, but you are like the stables are not necessarily on the Parchwood Way. They're a little bit off, but you're still within visible distance to it. And so as you are, you're enjoying the beauty of where you are. Again, like it is picturesque because there are no clouds in the sky whatsoever. And the first thing that you notice is hoofbeats off in the distance. Then you hear screaming, cheering, aggressive screaming and cheering. And then the music changes. And what you see coming from that direction is a giant plume of dust coming up from what looks like a group of people on horseback that are launching themselves at full gallop towards the town.
Hosen sprints. He starts running towards what's going on. This is like this is not the parade he was expecting. And starts huffing it towards town.
Towards town?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, again, using your passive, I will say that you recognize the one that is in the lead. It is a large, bald man with the hood now kind of around the back, off, and he is holding that great sword out.
Well, I'm gonna murder this dude. All right. No one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh god. Yeah. I kind of run. I'm. How many horses? How many people are charging into this town?
It's tough to say at the moment because it's still a little bit far away. But you can tell that there is at least, it looks like 10. But with the dust the way it is, and the distance and the chaos of this undulating mass of creatures, you can't get a good number on it.
Gotcha. I think. Can I take one of the horses in the stable to get to town faster?
Have you ever ridden a horse before?
Probably, but bareback would be a little bit difficult, and also I'm a halfling, so
Sure.
pretty small.
You are more than welcome to try. It will be an animal handling check with disadvantage because of the bareback.
Gotcha. I'm gonna roll twice here and see what happens. Here's the first roll, and here's the second roll.
Holy
11.
shit.
The second roll was a natural 20, but it's an 11.
Oh man. Okay. So with an 11 for animal handling, you're able to get on the back of this horse without it sort of bucking you. And it takes you a couple of seconds to get your arms around this thing, especially because you are a halfling. But it kind of, you kick your heels into the side, and it does respond. It seems as though this horse has been ridden bareback before, and it kind of knows what to do. But you have lost maybe a minute or two of time trying to get onto this horse.
Yeah. I kind of charge into town. British are coming. Trying to raise awareness.
Okay, great. I'm going to step away from you. Shoot, I have almost said Rain. Big Mama and Second. You are sitting basically right at the entranceway into the town, and you start to, like, it is difficult to hear because you are in the middle of sort of a lot of chaos at the moment. But there are definitely the sounds of hoofbeats at full gallop coming in your direction.
What was that? And she just looks over at Second, like still trying to eat. Like, do we stay? Do we go?
Second slowly slips down from the chair, crawls under the table.
So
All right.
does Mama Mocha.
All right, then you don't see this, but you do hear it as Hosen kind of launches through the middle of the area here. Hold on, I gotta tell my kid to go away.
It's only a matter of time.
All good. What you'll see is a little halfling, like, doesn't have a saddle, so it's just bouncing up and down on the horse, like, trying to stay on.
Yeah, so actually, Hosen, once you're like, let me restart. The restaurant where Second and Big Mama are is basically right at the corner of where this communal area is. I would assume that you would probably just charge into it, but you tell me, like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think the feast going on, it's so loud and cacophonous, like you still hear the footstep, like the footbeats, like coming. I think Hosen like kind of goes in on the horseback. I think he's just in a state of panic, and like also of the situation of he just sold armor to someone who's going to use it against his town. Just kind of screams like, everyone prepare yourselves, intruders are coming. Just like not coherent whatsoever, just trying his best to rally the troops, I guess.
Okay, now make a persuasion check.
Love it.
Why don't you do it with advantage this time, because you are on horseback and
Cool.
you are flustered, and yep.
Let's go. 21.
All right, with a 21, you achieve the desired effect, but almost too well.
Mm-hmm.
You see that as you're saying this. Now, are you static at the moment? Like have you
Yeah.
entered into the town and you're standing on the or sitting on the horse and just kind of like look that kind of thing?
Yeah, that kind
Okay,
of deal.
great. So as you do this, you see heads starting to turn, and they look at what you can now see is this plume of that dust, and it is becoming a lot closer now. Now you have you estimate you might have 2-3 minutes before they're on top of you. Now, Big Mama and Second, you were close enough to hear Hosen say this. Now that said, shoot, I gotta remember everybody's character name. Cinnabon, you're probably in this area too, and
Sure.
you see, as you're holding up your sign, you see him come in, and you hear this as well. So all of you are now aware of what Hosen has communicated.
Right. What would you like us to do about that situation exactly?
If you can fight. If you can't, run, hide, protect yourself, however you see fit.
And at that, everybody that is around you, that is, the sea of NPCs that surround you at the moment, start to panic and scatter.
The Hosen is stunned, just done. He's never been a leader, never been someone to do something like this, and is frozen at the moment.
Cinnabon is going to take a deep breath and say kind of under his breath, "This is part of your plan? Your grand design? There'll be no running for this one." And Archie, I think it's time for you to come out and play. And he claps his hands together, and there is a of an ember sound, and right next to him appears this small fire on fire corgi.
Oh!
As I use my bonus action wild shape to summon my wildfire spirit.
Fantastic. A
Incredible.
flaming corgi.
Yep.
Okay. Second, Big Mama, what are the two of you doing?
Big Mama absolutely takes a moment to collect herself, and she's going to go ahead and cast a primal savagery on herself
Okay.
as an action, just to have that ready for like just claws and fingernails, like just in teeth, all just sharpened, all at the ready, just killing some kneecaps. And then I would like to use then also my bonus action to cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff as well, to
Okay,
have that
perfect.
just at the ready.
No problem. We're not an initiative as of yet, so action economy is not important at the moment. So perfectly fine if you want to do both of those things. How about second?
Second sees Big Mama get up and slides further under the table, occupying the space that she left. Pulls out their shield in front of them, sinks into their armor, and wraps their other arm around their knees and just begins to slowly rock back and forth, talking to themselves. You're such a coward, Second. You never fight back. You never fight back. I tell you to go run home to your mom, but you don't have one. And then just his eyes start to well up as he sits there.
Holy shit. Okay. Sorry, that was very emotional. Okay, so when it comes to and now I think you understand about how I won. Not sure how to do this operationally. So here's what I think. I think we are going to save initiative for now.
Totally fine.
Until it gets to that point where it's kind of unavoidable. But at this moment, as you are all kind of preparing for what is about to happen, you see that they are right on top of you. You would say maybe another 10 seconds, and then they are going to burst into the area that is now, they've only had a minute or two to scatter. The folks are mostly out, but you do see people that are on the ground that have tripped and laid out prone in an attempt to get out. They tripped over their feet or something along those lines. There's trash everywhere as people dropped whatever they were carrying and are now running to the outskirts of town. The stalls that are in the middle of this communal area some of them have even been turned over as people were trying to get out, and you see that some of the food is kind of scattered on the floor, and some of the weapons that were there are just kind of loosey goosey out. There is one stall that is still remaining, and Hosen, you would know that this is the one stall where there are some magical items that are still within this. But all of the attendants to those stalls have scattered as well, so it is completely gone. And now the horses enter in, and on top of them you see these riders that all of them are, in some. Well, actually, let me say this. The one that is in the lead that has the white, the white, I want to say smock. It's not a smock, cloak. The white cloak is the only one that is wearing any sort of clothes that are of any quality. Everybody else is in some various state of disrobement, if that's a word. They've got some of the people have no shirts on, others have just basically maybe fantasy overalls or whatnot. They are essentially this ragtag group that is being led by a very well-dressed muscular man, and they burst in. Now that they are within reaching arm's reach of you all, are you doing anything? Do you want to fight them? What do you all want to do now at this point?
I'm sort of standing my ground and seeing if they're trying to pillage or what the situation is. But if you're close enough to him, his legs probably betray him a little bit because they're shaking.
Okay. Anybody else? Are you jumping into battle? I know second is not, but Big Mama, Hosen, are you kind of jumping into battle?
Big Mama wouldn't be jumping into battle. She'd be more so taking a beat, looking at second from what just literally happened to him, and seeing everything that was coming in. She would try to shield, move her body to kind of cover him, to block him from them.
Okay.
For just a protective mode.
Okay, great.
I will say really quick, because I forgot to mention it, I'm gonna go ahead and hold produce flame, and his left hand just.
Okay.
That's COVID donation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, what about Hosen? What's Hosen up to?
I think Hosen takes a second. Seeing these galloping horses, seeing the person that is using my husband's armor against him, essentially, and seeing his massive size that he was before, and the great sword, he goes, I just freaking out, shakily grabbing his rapier by his side, kind of standing his ground a little bit, because I just wish I was bigger. I wish I was bigger. I wish I was bigger, and I'm gonna use Giant Smite to bonus action to become large.
What?
Fuck yeah!
Incredible.
I'm gonna I'm just gonna grow in size into a large being and face down, rapier out against this horde.
Awesome! I love that so much. So if you would permit me, I think it just heightens the drama that the dude sees you in various states of cowering on top of the bareback horse, and he comes up right next to you on his horse, and right before he addresses you, he kind of turns his head and says, "You know what to do, boys." And they kind of start to scatter inside. And and Cinnabon, to your question, like you see that they are, in fact, scooping up all sorts of food. They are specifically looking at the food that they are picking up.
Yeah.
Now,
As soon as I see that, that's not exactly yours, and produce flames
cool.
to run.
Cool. I'm gonna put that on ice for a second. And
Literally
so,
on ice.
Yeah. So Hosen, he right before you changed, and he then right after he kind of directs the horde, he looks at you and says, "You make a good product. Let's see if you make a good fighter." And he hops off of his horse and draws out the greatsword, and then you change.
Yep. And then I just like
Incredible.
grow
Anime.
in size. Just,
Yeah.
Just
I hop off
literally.
the horse and just grow in size.
Why don't you make an intimidation check?
Yeah.
I love that.
An 8.
All right. So
I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
so scared shitless. I'm first time doing
Hello,
this.
brother.
So you're definitely not you're not super confident in this. However, you do kind of he takes a step back, I will say, but he is also quite large, although not necessarily a large figure in D&D terms.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think right now might be the right time to put us into initiative order, because you're
That
going to
seems
do
right.
Flame, you're going to do a fight with this dude. Big Mama is going to do what Big Mama's going to do. And yeah, I think
Seems right.
second should also, just in case.
Sure. I rolled really high. So
Same.
one is ready to rock. Well, that's not how you want to deliver initiative, Billiam. Whenever you're ready.
All right. So I've got everybody's except you, Jacob.
All right, 24.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to do 2 rolls, one for the big dude and one for the horde.
19.
Let's go.
All right. So that is not great. And the horde. All right. So it is Cinnabon first,
Certainly.
then Hosen, Big Mama second, and then the bad guys.
Oh. Well, before that, my produce flame, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, in that case, yeah, whoever is essentially closest to me within 30 feet.
Okay.
Jesus. We are on fire tonight. Literally, that's a 25 to hit.
Fuck.
Yes.
Yes, that's definitely going to do it.
Yes.
So, we're definitely going to hold on to that dice. No. Oh, that's okay. That's not truly awful. That's going to be 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And then I assume my actual turn.
Yes.
So, where do I want to start with things?
So maybe it would be helpful if I kind of placed everybody in like the theater of the mind.
Place.
So you've got again, the center is kind of a rectangle, and if you imagine you're sort of at one corner of that rectangle, that was the entry point that they all spilled into. And so you've got some riders that are kind of towards the top of the square, and some that are on the one side, but they haven't yet gotten into the middle of it yet. You have about 4 that are at the top and 6 that are at the side, and as of right now, you've got roughly 5 that still have not yet entered into the square.
Got it. Are there any that are how far away from them am I right now? The closest ones?
You're about, I would say, 25 feet.
25 feet? Oh, that's perfect. if I got within 15 feet, how many would I catch with a 15-foot cone?
You could probably, well, it depends on the way that you position it. So you could get to one side of the 4 that are above to get all of them.
Yeah, let's do that.
But in doing that, that puts you closer to the 5 that are entering.
Oh, then let's not do that.
Okay.
One chaos at a time, I guess.
Sure.
In that case, I'm gonna specifically keep targeting the one that I was going after.
Okay.
And what type of armor is he wearing? This one.
He's wearing just plain leather, and it actually looks pretty shoddy.
It's pretty shoddy. Okay. In that case, I am going to spin a finger, and then these 3 globules of motes of fire, 1, 2, 3, and all 3 of them will actually they'll fire out in. We'll do 3 different targets because I'm going to cast Scorching Ray, and these are 3 different rays of fire. So the first one will be the one that I'm targeting, and then the next 2 can be because it's a range of 120 feet. I've got plenty. I don't even need to move at all.
Yeah, sounds good. And while that's going, just a reminder to Alex that Hosen is up next.
Cool.
Perfect. First one, which is the one that I was have been targeting. That's a 24 to hit.
Yep.
Second attack,
Jesus.
15 to hit.
15 will hit, yes.
Third attack, natural 20.
Ah, fuck, hey.
So first things first, we'll go. Where's my other? Oh, there we go. So the first guy is 11 points of fire damage.
Okay. So are you're spreading them out amongst 3, or you're
Correct.
focusing them on 1?
3.
Okay, great. So so you arc this globule of fire towards them, and as it does so, it kind of hits this man right in the face, and you can see that the hair starts to burn and singe off, and like in that Indiana Jones movie, his skin just kind of melts off of his face, and he collapses down to the ground dead.
Yeah.
That is something we're going to resolve in a minute. Because he's in the middle of pew pew pew. So the second one, 7 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And then the third one,
Yeah.
how do you do your crits, Bill?
It'll be max plus roll.
Okay, so that would be 12 plus 11. So 23 points of fire damage.
Yeah, I mean, if you please describe how this one goes
So,
away.
so he went from like, where the fuck's my family, to feeling a bit overwhelmed, to you can't do this to these people that were really nice to me. And then as the first one incinerates, the second one begins to scream, and the third one turns to ash, just ash. And is he on a horse? That rip in peace, that horse.
Yeah,
one?
yeah, that's right.
Rip in peace, that horse.
Rip.
And he, as that happens, he just is like, I didn't mean to. I'm not killing anyone before. I don't really know how to feel about that.
I was just going to ask you.
No, he's never killed anybody before. Much less horses. I don't know exactly how to feel about that, Archie. But after you, dear. And Archie's gonna let's see. I'm gonna make sure that because you thought we were done. We still getting warmed up, boo boo. Yeah. Is there any other targets within 30 feet of Archie, who's right next to me?
So you've got the one that was damaged but not killed.
Yep. So kind of gonna play a little bit with this because they have these wildfire spirits have like flame seeds that they would like spit out, but being who he is, it's more of like he's like goes into like a fire roll and then like becomes a projectile himself and then bounces off of them.
Okay.
And that's gonna be that's really low. That's a 9 to hit. There we go.
Yeah, that's
There's the
not going to
balance.
do it.
And he just and flashbangs and doesn't exactly actually the range is 60 feet. Jesus Christ. So it doesn't strike purchase, but I think my turn is good. That's plenty.
All right, Hosen is up next, followed by Big Mama.
Yeah, Hosen, now large, still kind of freaking out. This is the first time he's ever done this. Been this big before.
So actually, that's a good question. Yeah. Have you ever done that before?
No, this is the first time.
So you've never become big.
And I've never become big.
That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, first time becoming big. Just like kind of almost terrified of the situation, but still focus on this large man dude in front of me, raiding my beloved town. Picks up his rapier and goes for an attack. I'm going to take a swing at him.
Okay.
Cool. Is 22.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
As the rapier stabs into him, I look at him and go, you know what Yetis really hate? And inspired by like the singe smell that he hears behind him, Yetis really hate fire. And I'm gonna activate my fire rune.
Nice.
You see these around his wrist, these kind of banners, kind of like those sashes that we wear in graduation, kind of a deal of like super bright color and then like 2 colors on the edges, like very regal looking. Kind of form around the wrist, snake along his arm, goes onto the sword and wraps around this dude's legs and tries to restrain him to the ground. So if he can make a strength saving throw of a DC 12.
Sure. Oops, wrong button. That's going to be a nat 20.
Oh shit. He breaks out of it, but he still takes some fire damage.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for the rapier damage first, which is 7 damage. Don't ignore that one. And then 2d6 fire. 10, so 17 damage into this dude.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action surge, because why not? I'm just going to do everything. And I'm going to take another swing at him.
Sure.
I am pissed at this dude. 14?
14 is not going to hit.
Mm.
In fact,
that's really good armor.
In fact, as you swing, it kind of glances off of his armor and he winks at you.
Hosen is pissed. He's gonna kill this dude. He stands there ready.
All right. Okay, moving over to Big Mama. Big Mama, you are still in that restaurant, right? And you have basically sight into the folks that are coming into the square, but you can see, that there is this extremely large armored man that is fighting the other sort of shirtless man, or actually the leather armor guy. And then, you also see the fire action that is happening over by Cinnabon. But you can also see that it is not just those 5, that there is another group of riders that is coming in behind them.
How far is Big Mama from all of this?
You could probably reach out of the restaurant and touch the riders that are coming in to the square.
All right, that does change things. Let me see. You know what? I know what I already had at the ready. I'm gonna change it up a bit. And so she's on, just make sure, one side of the door, like inside the tavern, and the other guys are on like on the other side doorway.
Well, so the restaurants, the taverns had opened up the seating into the open air. And so you weren't necessarily inside of the tavern. You were like on the premises. So like you're not protected by a wall. I'll say that.
Okay. Alrighty. Where those riders are coming at, and I want to make sure, of course, to be keeping, because second just seems that concerns me.
Yeah.
That activates her thing. So what I want to go ahead and do is cast spike growth. I want to go ahead and pull that up, and I want to do it like under the feet of where those guys are coming.
Great spell.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. And it is coming. Let me see. I'm going to cast that at second level.
Okay.
Is it coming through?
Yes. So actually, I don't believe that there's a roll that you need to do. It just, whenever one of the creatures goes through it, it's 2d4 damage.
Yes.
So that is perfect.
Yeah, difficult terrain, yeah.
Yep, and it's difficult terrain. Okay, perfect. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, none of them are near me, right?
I mean, they are
Like,
pretty
within-
near you. Do you have a bonus action, or you want to move?
I do. I have, well, hold on. I have a bonus action. Basically wild shape. Or I have I can actually attack with my shillelagh.
As a bonus
Let's
action?
do that. It says for your bonus action, attack shillelagh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, are there like toes near me? Can I like plop their toes?
Yes, you
that?
absolutely can stab somebody in the toe.
Let's fucking do that. Alright. Rolling. Well, hold on. I just rolled the damage, but I did not literally roll to hit first. Let's start that again.
Okay, great.
Goes the other way, right? 22.
22 will hit, yes.
And then my damage that I showed before was an 8.
Okay, great.
8 damage.
Yeah, so you take a big swing at this person that is riding on top of the horse and now is starting to slow down, and I think that gives you an opportunity to just sort of smack him on the shin, and you hear a loud crack as you shatter the bones within.
Yeah. That's it. It's my turn.
All right, perfect. Mr. Second.
Still arm wrapped around their knee, with the shield in the other in front, repeating to themselves, "A violent hand is an unjust hand. A violent hand is an unjust hand. A violent hand is an unjust hand." Tears streaming down their face, they take a deep breath and peek out just a little bit over the top of their shield, and they say, "Chief among the teachings of Tal'dorei is the preservation of life." And a silver phoenix appears behind Hosen and wraps their arms around Hosen, giving them a shield of faith and +2 AC.
Ooh.
And then
Just
Second.
hit the bait.
puts their head back down behind their shield.
Brilliant. And you are going to need it because now it is the guy's turn, and he takes his great axe and is going to swing it at you.
At me.
That is going to be an 18.
18 hits. Yes.
All right. Then he's going to swing it again for a nat 20.
Let's go. Come at me.
He's going to swing it one more time.
He's got 3
Boy.
attacks?
3 attacks.
Oh my god.
That's a 26.
Jesus.
All hit. Funny enough.
So, re-rolling the character at this moment.
Let's go.
I
Come at me.
mean,
Let's see what happens.
sorry. It's all right.
Level 4, Sean. All right, so this is going to be the first one for 7 damage.
All right.
Oh shoot, I forgot to add the modifier. So that'll be 12 damage.
All right.
+5. God damn. Let's go.
So then 12, 17 for the crit,
Okay.
and then that'll be an extra. Oops, I forgot one. So another 12.
Hosen goes down.
Yeah.
Hosen goes very down.
Very down.
And then he steps over your body on his way to start picking up some more of the food. And as he does so, he spits.
I'm gonna murder this
What?
dude. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, Hosen just takes these wounds. Feels hopeless. He isn't strong enough. He isn't, even in his larger size, he isn't large enough. He isn't strong enough. As he takes these hits, the armor that has been made, it's not enough as he goes down.
Right. Now it is the Horde's turn, and you see that they are they're not very interested in what you all are doing. They are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to gather as much stuff as they possibly can. And so, Cinnabon, you've taken out a significant portion of these schmucks, but the others that are on the other side, that you more or less kind of have your back turned to at the moment, they are gathering up all the grain. There's sacks of flour that they are, putting over their shoulders. They're, in fact, that one stall that is still standing, where all the magic items are, you can see that they are, there is one person that is just like tips the whole thing over and then just starts filling a sack with some of that stuff. And you get the sense that they have picked up a majority of the trash that is around you at the moment.
Trash
And then
or food?
I'm sorry, yes, the food.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
Yeah, they don't want the
in
trash.
my
They
country,
want-
Nice.
we eat trash for sustenance.
Yes.
Welcome to Westrun.
All right. And then we are going to go to the top of the order with Cinnabon.
Seeing this and seeing that it is a clearly like an overwhelming situation, and I didn't mean to. I didn't. I'm so sorry. I'm so he's like looking at the pile. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. We didn't mean to. And then kind of seeing Hosen go down. Do I have enough movement to get to him?
To Hosen?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
definitely within 30 feet.
Okay.
Actually, are you 30? Yes, you're 30.
Okay. And food's replaceable, but people don't. And he's gonna run over and kind of, this is so bad, but this is what Father taught us. And put a hand on Hosen's chest and cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You terrible roll again. 2 plus 5. Still decent in the hindsight of things. 11 points of healing for you.
I will take it. Thank you.
So actually, no, I'm sorry. It's only 7. I forgot.
7?
You don't add the modifier for each roll. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, 2d8 plus 4. So that's his action.
Duval.
Maybe it would be helpful to also state that, or restate that when this gentleman hopped off of his horse, the horse was still remaining there. I don't know. I just want to reiterate that
As
there's
a
a
note,
horse.
yeah,
in
sure,
front.
no,
Yeah.
totally fine. And as your eyes sort of blink open, don't go into the great beyond just yet. We've only just met. Oh gods.
Hosen is just like gasping for air. Thank you.
No worries. Oh, lots of worries here. And who's the closest bad guy? Are they
Right
They're
now,
just
it's
all over the place?
it's all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
a cluster.
complete chaos.
Yeah, yep, 100%. Okay. In that case, he's gonna sort of Stand his ground. Archie's going to dodge as for his for his purposes and sort of just keep an eye on things.
Okay, great. Then we're gonna go to Hosen.
I pop back up, scared, terrified. I've never gotten this close to death before. Just freaking out. Hosen kind of still those intrusive thoughts of like I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't big enough, I'm not. Looks at the very large man pillaging, and I'm going to use my action to try to hide from the dude.
Ooh, all right.
Are you still large size, by the way?
Hmm?
You still large
So
size?
that's I was going to ask
good
because
question.
I don't see it in here
Yes,
whether.
When you go down.
Yeah. Because it's not the large spell, so it's not like
No, I think
Yeah.
you're still large.
Oh, I'm still large? Okay, if I'm still large, I'm going to take another swing at this dude. I think that changes things.
Amazing!
He's so large. I think
respect
like
that. Yeah.
like just for like narrative sake, I think Hosen wakes up thinking all these intrusive thoughts of being small, of being not large enough, and looks down and he's still large. His new friend just brought him back to life for a second chance at this. Hosen kind of picks up his rapier, takes a deep breath, holds his wounds, and kind of looks down at his new friend. Goes, I don't know what your name is.
Cinnabon,
Thank you.
And you're absolutely ridiculously tall. No offense.
Thanks. I this is the first time this happened. I don't know what's going on either. And I'm gonna take a swing at this dude, like in the back, just try to go for him.
Okay. Now I will say you're going to have advantage on this attack because he has completely disregarded you as a threat and is dramatically walking away from you, sort of like cool people don't look at explosions.
Yeah,
Specifically. It's funny 'cause
I can
his
just
friends are
imagine.
Slow-mo.
You just brought down a dude, spit on him, and then like looks back, just like
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's gonna keep walking. Cool. So I have advantage on this.
Yes.
Cool. That is oh shit, a 12.
Oh my God, no! A 12 does not hit.
I am still. I go across. This armor is very well made. Of just being right off. I am still terrified. I'm still like I swing at him. I hope he turns around and goes, I'm not finished yet. Stand his ground.
All right, I love it. Okay.
So many character moments in one first episode one. Amazing.
All right, Big Mama's up next.
Yeah, let's go, Big Mama.
Yeah, well, her character development is all about food. I'm just saying.
I respect it.
All right. And I know I already have it as like difficult terrain. Is
Yes.
the guy who's leaving, is he walking through all that?
So no, the main guy is walking into the square as a way to like manage the chaos in a certain way. However, the folks that were on horseback coming in are becoming kind of slowed down, and you can see that the horses are kind of screaming out in pain as they're going through, but the riders are like forcing them to continue in, it is a bit more chaos at the front, with the horses taking all of the damage from the spike growth.
Yeah, I'm hurt horses.
Poor horses. I feel so bad.
One steak tonight, we got this. All right, so
I'm a vegetarian. You don't know that yet.
yeah, I don't even know if I've seen her yet, right? So, all right, well, let's do this. The one that I just hit, that one's still up, right?
Yes.
The one, okay.
Yes.
Let's do it again. Pop.
Okay. Roll to attack.
Oh, my shillelagh.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. A 13 will hit. Yes.
Oh.
Hit him, not the other guy. Alrighty. And then 98.
Oh yes. Okay. With an 8, you you somehow managed to like. He was on top of the horse, nursing his crushed wounds, and he was like bent down a little bit, in just enough to get his head within swinging range of you, and you just clonk him on the head, and his skull just kind of caves as he slides off of the horse and falls into the spikes that then gets him trampled by the others.
Cool. I'll take that.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Let's see. I can do with my bonus action. No, that was my bonus action. No, never mind. Let's see. What's the next one that's closest to me?
You've got a menu in front of you. There are a few sort of charging past, but again, they
directly to the main course. So would you like another appetizer?
Wrong.
Given your current position, you see that they are coming in, but because of the spike growth, the folks that are on the horses themselves are trying to contain the horses, but the horses are fighting against them. And so it is causing a little bit of a jam up here. So if you'd like to, you could basically swing at any of 3.
What I was thinking of doing is casting Moonbeam.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
So where they're trying to come through, and I know it's only like 5 feet,
Yeah.
but it's enough to pack a punch. So I want to do that.
All right, great. So this is a con save, and then on a fail, it's 2d10 radiant damage.
Yep.
Perfect. And you're gonna position it right, basically at the entrance to the square, so that they have to pass through it. Not only do they pass through the moonbeam, but there's a spike growth. I love it.
Yeah.
Question for you. This is not concentration. It is concentration.
It is concentration.
Is spike growth concentration?
Oh, that is so smart to be asking that. Maybe I should know that. It is for 10 minutes.
All right.
So I lose the spike growth to do the moonbeam.
Yeah, so you can do that. You can cancel spike growth.
What if I don't want to cancel it?
You don't. Then
then I know the moonbeam. Right. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the moonbeam.
All right, perfect. I love it. So there's one already caught inside of the moonbeam. So why don't you go ahead and actually let me do the con save, and then we can roll damage for that one.
One of those horses like, oh, thank God!
I am getting nat 20s like it's nobody's business.
God damn!
Linda, listen.
All right. So they do save, but it is half damage.
Yeah. All right, and I did roll earlier what the moonbeam was. Was that 5 radiant damage it showed on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. 2d10 equals 5. So half of that?
So 2. A strong
2
2.
Solid
damage?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 2d10 and it equaled 5.
Gotcha. All right. So this one is going to take 2 damage. And it is noticeable, but it is not alarming, and they continue to charge in. All right. I believe that's it, unless you want to move.
No, I'll stay where I am.
Perfect. Then let's go over to second.
I believe my Shield of Faith should stay up.
Yeah, concentration for a while.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got concentration that wouldn't be impacted by Hosen going down. Okay.
Correct.
So, and how far away is Hosen from me?
He's probably about 25 feet.
Okay. Second, we'll look over the top of the shield. Watch Hosen take 3 shots right to the body right after casting shield of faith on them, and just feel like utter garbage, and will say, "Not good enough, second," and will run out, lay a hand on Hosen, and cast Warding Bond to up the AC a further one, give Hosen resistance on all damage that they take, but for every damage that Hosen takes, second will also take damage. And then we'll throw up my shield and just go like back to back with Hosen in the middle of the rectangle.
That is so rad.
Incredible. I see this, my new friend just, I felt the phoenix around me, but didn't know what it was. I was so chaotic in this moment, but seeing you run out, Hosen sees a guardian angel, legitimately. Sees someone here to protect, and feels that, and boosts his confidence even more.
Now it is the big time for big stuff to happen. So at this point, he laughs and says, "You were not a challenge before, and you're not going to be a challenge again. And as you can tell," and he kind of gestures to the opulent greatsword and the armor, "I like the finer things in life, and you are not that." And he turns around and then continues to call out, "Grab it all! Grab it all!" And that's his turn. And then we're going to go to the Horde. And the Horde now has gotten, I would say, probably 90% of the stuff.
Sure.
And they begin to hop back onto their horses. And you can see that they are about to depart. And we go to the top of the order with Cinnabon.
Many decisions to make. So seeing this Kenku fly in right in front, and upset at himself for killing two people, and then hearing those words, excuse me, I think you're going to have to owe them an apology. You're starting to smell a little weird, and I'm gonna cast Heat Metal on him.
Okay.
And his armor begins to go.
It's studded leather.
Oh, then I wouldn't have cast it. Okay, I thought.
Right.
When you said armor, I thought you were describing plates. Never mind. In
Yeah.
that case, that's totally fine. I'm gonna do something a little different then.
By the way, that would have been an absolute rad thing to do.
It would have been
because
rad
you would have to take it off and then leave it, and then oh my god,
It would have been awesome. Yeah.
But sorry,
It's okay. No, it's totally cool. It's not bad at all. Oh, actually, this is even better. Are all of the baddies within like from a radius perspective? Like, what would you call that? Just if you had a number.
Oh, I mean, the square is pretty large.
Yeah.
I would say maybe because it's concentrated to one side, maybe about 100 feet. If you want to get all baddies in, 100 feet radius.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not super concerned about that. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do instead. So sort of, backing up. That didn't happen, unfortunately, but it is really cool. The difference is that he's got help, and the area around him, and we're gonna center it essentially on him since he's the one being an asshole. And 20 feet out begins to glow with this green energy, and I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire.
Okay.
And for those of you that are not familiar with Fairy Fire, each They every attack roll on any affected creature has advantage. But I think they have to. Oh yeah, all of them have to roll a I think a dex save. Yeah, dexterity saving throw.
Okay, cool. So he has to roll a dex save right now.
Yeah, the spell's cast is also outline and light. Oh, it's outline and light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. The effect of the advantage still happens regardless.
Okay.
If I'm reading this correctly.
Okay, so dex save, yes?
Yep.
Right now?
Yep.
All right. That is not great. That is, I believe, 11.
That's a failure.
Yeah.
But I assume that only hits him. It's fine if it does. I'm totally cool with that.
Yes.
Cool. And Hosen sees like these like small like green fireflies that begin to surround him, just baking him in unnatural light. See, there you go. Let me go ahead and offer an assist then, Archie, and then at advantage with a bonus action, which I desperately needed. That's a 20 million to hit. And do. Make sure that I have my no. Okay, cool. So that's just a D6 plus 2. So that's 6 points of fire damage.
All right.
As Archie impacts him in the chest and
You said 6?
flies back. 6 points of fire damage. Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then he's back next to me. And
All right.
that's my he'll look at second. Happy to have your help. And that'll be it.
All right, we will now go to Hosen, followed by Big Mama.
Hosen is overwhelmed with so many things right now. This is the first,
His brain is literally on fire.
literally on fire. So much is going on. Hosen
I'm down, I'm up.
I'm down, I'm up. There's a big dude with my
All these
husband's armor
things are
on.
helping me. What is happening?
These things are helping me. I have friends. Friends? Wild. This is so insane. I look at this dude with more confidence that he has never had in his entire life. Hosen goes, I said, I'm not finished yet. You may like the finer things, but you don't deserve it. Bonus action, second wind. He's gonna pat his chest.
There you go.
For 11 points of healing.
Nice.
And I'm going to take some swings at him.
At
just
advantage.
a swing. At advantage. This is a 19 hit.
A 19 does hit.
Since I have advantage, I'm gonna implement some sneak attack onto this.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
I forgot you multi-classed!
Yeah, baby.
Oh, man!
A rogue Runite fighter, baby. All right.
Damn.
So first, I'm gonna do this in multiple parts. So first, the rapier damage. For 12, and then also rolled the sneak
Jesus
attack, which is
Christ.
awesome. So 14. But also, I totally forgot last time I hit. Giant Smite, I get an extra 1d6 to my weapon attacks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll for that as well.
Nah.
So
I had all
18
the
damage to
D6s.
this dude. As I strike into him with this fairy fire around him, I look to my new friends and I go, "Thank you.
Don't
Let's
think it's
finish
yet.
this." It's ready, just ready.
All right. That's fantastic. So as you make this slice, you can see that that he is wavering, and the blood is now spilling all over the leather vest, leather armor that you gave him, and he kind of stumbles to one side and turns around. And then we're gonna go to Big Mama.
Alright. Great. My moonbeam that's on the guy, besides the 2 points on his pinky toe, how's he doing right now?
Yeah, so let me roll a con save.
Constitution.
Yep.
That is going to be a 15 plus 1, 16.
Eh.
Is that a save?
Yeah,
Uh,
because mine was 13. Had to go against 13.
all right. So half damage.
Yep. And bum, 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 bum. Oh. And then a 19 is down to like what? 9?
Whoa. All right, so even though he takes half damage, the moonlight starts to bake and boil the skin, and he is so distracted by what's going on that he loses control over being on top of the horse and falls off, and then gets trampled, and he is dead.
I like that
Damn.
cause and effect. Cool. All right. That being said, now, I notice with Cinnabon, Hosen, and Second, they have their attention on armored guy now bloodied and shit
In the
like
middle,
that,
yeah,
right?
that's right.
Can I take my moonbeam? Just gonna push it over him,
Uh,
just in case,
can
Mr.
you?
Angry Man.
I think
Bonus
you
Yeah, I
action,
can move
think.
it.
It's your bonus action, I think, to do it, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't do anything yet. My moonbeam just killed the other guy just because he still was there.
Right.
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 So-
It's not bonus action. It is action. So this would be your action for the turn. You can move it 60 feet in any direction. So you can blast this thing right on top of this dude.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
Perfect. Okay. Bonus action move. Big Mama, anything you'd like to do for bonus action?
Oh, I thought you were telling me to move. I'm like,
Oh no,
where?
no. Sorry.
I am still where I need to be. That is it. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay, perfect. Now we go to Second, who is behind Hosen.
Second looks around, sees the utter chaos in the middle of the square. Looks over at Hosen and just says, "Second," and casts Healing Word on you for a bonus action. For be 7 points back. And then thinking for a moment, seeing all the horde getting on their horses, I will run to the big guy's horse, and I will use my rope to hobble his horse for my action.
What does that look like?
I run towards the horse, take a rope out from my back, and I start tying the horse's legs together.
Okay. I mostly asked because I don't know what hobble means.
Okay.
I love you, Bill. So
I'll
much.
make it so that the horse can only move like that kind of forward.
So you're tying the horse's shoelaces together.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. All right. What
You
did
looking
you...
at animal handling?
Yeah, I was going to ask animal handling, please.
At the 22.
Yeah, no problem. The horse sees, because I was thinking about, a horse may or may not be comfortable or familiar with a kenku approaching, but there's no issue for them to come up and do this. So, yep. All right. So now it is the bad guy's turn, and what I am going to do first is a con save for the main guy for the moonbeam, which is a 19, which is going to save, but you can still roll damage, and I'll take half.
That eye roll was Iconic. I'm gonna clip that
I need
later.
a mimosa, Jacob.
Oh man, that is a callback. That is an inside joke between me and Ray. Amazing.
12, so half of that's 6.
All right. No problem. And now he is going to approach Hosen and just start swinging. I'm going to do all 3 at once.
Makes sense.
Okay, so
Ow, 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 ow.
18, a hit and a miss. 18 you said does hit or...
It's not. No, 19 now.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
So there's only
Oh my God,
one
the
hit
morning bond, I
here.
forgot about the morning bond. Damn.
As like Hosen sees one swinging towards me, he does like this kind of scared reflex. He knows this is about to hit, and I'm gonna activate the cloud rune, and it swings and misses me, hitting. I'm assuming there's no other enemies nearby. I'd also, I would say, hits a box nearby or
Okay.
something. But basically, cloud rune. You or a creature you see within 30 feet is hit by an attack roll. You could use reaction to choose a different creature other than the attacker to become the target of the attack. So if there's a mouse nearby or something like that.
All right, perfect.
You what, mate?
Yeah.
You know what? There's so much chaos, and we're kind of playing fast and loose with location anyway. So let's just say there is kind of a one of the bandit schmucks that is next to him, and
Cool.
we can do that attack. So the only one that hits didn't hit you. It hit one of the. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big hit too. So he decapitates one of the ones that is running past on the horse, and this headless body just kind of slucks off the horse and falls onto the ground. And and he looks surprised at this, and then turns towards you and says, "That was one slice, and you're next." And he raises it again. But it's not his turn, so
Okay, cool.
so now it is the Horde's turn. And now that they are back on their horses, they begin to retreat. So there are some that were closer to the entrance that are now out. But there's that group that was kind of towards the left-hand side of the rectangle that is beginning to circle their horses around and then begin to head out. So there's one more turn that you could affect that group in some way, but otherwise they are going to be gone. And then you have the one in the middle at the moment. And the hobbled horse that second just took care of. So now we're back to the top of the order with Cinnabon.
Every turn is just like, I don't know. What is happening? Every like, there's just such escalation. Okay. How are you looking, Hosen, at this point?
I'm pretty snazzy at the moment.
Okay.
I'm pretty good.
Okay. Is there anyone that is in the process of grabbing food, or is it all they've got it all and it's all gone?
They've all got it, yes.
Okay. The nearest
to clarify, there are some scraps of food lying around, but nobody is grabbing it.
the nearest person to me within 30 feet. Where's the food on their horses? Are they
They've got
holding
like
it?
these. They've got these supplemental saddlebags that are on the back of their horse that are pretty large.
Okay. Archie, would you mind? And I'm gonna have Archie target the saddlebag and try to cut it loose.
Okay. Let's make it an AC of 12 because it's pretty easy to do. But it is
natural
moving.
13. So yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, is there a fire aspect to what Archie
Yep.
does? Okay.
Absolutely.
So-
6 points of damage.
Perfect. So the strap that is holding the saddlebags is snapped in half, and the 2 bags just kind of slump to the ground.
And we're gonna keep it moving in that regard by doing is there a few within we're playing fast and loose, so I'm just seeing what I can sort of get away with here.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing again. Man, I'm burning through spells here, but it's totally on brand. I'm gonna do another Scorching Ray.
Okay.
I'm gonna target 3 saddlebags.
All right.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's keep that AC 12.
Okay. First one is a 13 to hit.
Okay.
Higher and way low for an 8. So first two will hit.
All right, perfect. So that same thing happens where the strap just snaps, and so now there are 3 horses for a total of 6 bags that are now on the ground.
Great. And as they're leaving, do they react at all, or do they even notice? Because I didn't think so.
Yeah, they're very much in
gone.
the process
Yeah.
of escaping.
And he's gonna run over and start to pick those up.
Okay. Okay, great.
And yeah,
Very
that's
smart.
all my movement and all the things. I'm good.
Perfect. All right, Hosen, you're up next.
Hosen kind of looks around the whole scene and goes, I don't have much range stuff to help the horse situation, the horde, but I can keep attacking this gentleman in front of me. I'm just gonna keep on swinging.
Right.
Is it still with advantage with Fairy Fire, or is
Against
it?
this guy? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
how's it
roll
going?
with advantage. Nice. Thank you. 21 to hit.
Yep.
Cool. I'm rolling the 3 damages. 11 for the sneak attack plus the rapier, and then 1 more d6 for the giant smite. So 15 damage.
15 total?
Yep.
All right.
How is this dude looking?
Not great.
Not great. Okay.
Not great at all. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's very surprised at how quickly he went from, spitting on you and walking over your dead
We got
body to
healers,
now
bitch.
you essentially
go.
have grouped together with this band of friends and are a much more threatening foe than he originally thought. And in fact, you can start to see as you make contact with this a bit of worry in his eyes.
Yeah, I just kind of stare him down. Just
All right.
standing tall.
Big Mama, you're up next.
Alrighty. My moonbeam still on him.
Yes, but it is at the beginning of his turn.
His turn.
Right.
Cool. And because he just talking a lot of shit, and I don't appreciate that.
Same.
So, let me see this. If I go ahead and use an acid arrow, will that, and I'm just asking this, DM, can I use an acid arrow, but will that be also with my own weapon damage, like me using my longbow? Does that make sense? Or is it just the 4d4?
So I believe it is.
Is it just without itself, or do I have to actually?
It's a spell.
Yeah.
You're casting a spell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got its own spell damage associated with it. So it would be 2d4 acid damage. 4d4 acid damage immediately and 2d4 at the end of its next turn. So it does not take your weapon damage, if that makes sense.
Cool. So I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I want to shoot him.
Perfect. Make a ranged attack roll.
Alrighty. All the shits came up.
Yeah. So
22.
22 to hit. That definitely hits. And You've got 18 damage.
Okay.
Feel free to describe what it looks like when he collapses.
Give me a moment. All right.
I love you
We're
so
back
much.
in.
That is why you're
All
here.
So Big Mama, with the moonbeam just casting down upon him, my voice cracking, and then she looks at him and she's gonna blame him for everyone just grabbing up the food. And she looks at him and she goes, "From what I read, you are never supposed to leave dinner early." And with that, she just goes ahead and takes that acid arrow and just like shoots it right at him, like right in like the carotid.
Perfect. And what little blood is left inside of his system is now ejected out through his carotid, and he collapses to his knees. And then Hosen, his face lands in the dirt right at your feet. And
Justice.
now, second, is there anything that you would like to do?
Yeah. In the last 6 seconds, after feeling rather, courageous, rushing out, useful, second turns around to see a body decapitated, a head fly off, and then the armored man go down after just a flurry of blows and acid, and their face just completely falls, and they whisper to themselves, "Preservation of life," and will run up and cast Spare the Dying on the armored man.
Awesome.
Incredible.
That's awesome. Now, Spare the Dying just stabilizes, does
At
not...
0, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Right.
Beautiful. BEA. Beautiful.
Incredible.
Okay. So now in the initiative order, it is the dead person's turn. So he's dead. and then it is the horde, and they everybody that was inside now exits, and you could start to see that the you don't see them as they kind of round the corner and head out the Parchwood Way, but you do see the plume of smoke starting to dust start to dissipate and go further out as they retreat, and we are no longer in initiative. But the scene that's around you right now is one that is incredibly chaotic. And there are, as I mentioned, dead bodies everywhere. There are kind of stalls, scattered, and it looks like, a bloody tornado just came through, and so you start to see a few kind of faces peek out of windows and that sort of thing, but I want to hand it over to you all. And now that you're kind of in this aftermath, what are you all doing?
As the adrenaline begins to sort of leave him, he kind of forgot that he killed those 2 people in the moment, and then stares at he's got the satchels, the saddlebags or whatever they were, in his hands, and kind of looks at them for a second and just kind of says, "It's just food. What kind of design was this all for? It's a part of all of our stories." I'm disappointed. He just tosses them on the ground. And walks over to second. "Are you all right?" And second is how tall is second?
Just under 5, so a little bit taller than you, I think.
A little taller. Okay. Me neither. I'm not okay either. Just put like a hand on your shoulder.
I'll look around, and given the way most of these people died, I assume no one else is capable of being stabilized.
No, definitely not. The ones that are dead are
They're dead.
super dead.
Uh,
Well, actually, the one that was turned into a pile of ash. You know, they
can I spare that one? Yeah. Sweep the dying. I'm going to sweep the dying for the.
That was way too funny.
I tried so hard not to make any ridiculous jokes this game.
You're funny though. So
yeah, I know. Second will take a breath, walk back over to the restaurant, and start writing tables and chairs just slowly and trying to put things back in some semblance of order.
Cinema will help you.
Big Mama and Hosen, you're still on the, for lack of a better term, battlefield. How are you feeling?
I think Hosen just stares for quite some time at this person below him, feeling so much anger and betrayal of someone who would use his husband's gift for villainy, and then he feels immense guilt because while he was so focused on one individual person, he looks around at the town around him and it's in ruin. People got away with food that people desperately need. He was self-centered in that moment. I think standing over this person's body, he puts away his rapier. And he wants to take off the armor, but he looks at his new friends slowly put tables and chairs back together. Quietly, somberly, does the same. He walks over and starts putting things back together.
Big Mama?
Big Mama looks around. She's exasperated. She looks around and she's like, all I wanted was just brunch. I come in here into this establishment, and what happens? Y'all have fighters, beheadings, ash, fire, everything happening. All I wanted was just a nice charcuterie. That's it. Y'all don't expect me to go out and pay for this. I'm not paying for this, nothing, manager, anything, tavern owner, anything like that. That's all y'all. I'm not taking care of this. Y'all 3 owe me a drink. And she talks to Cinnabon second and Hosen. It's like, y'all owe me a drink. So that way we can acquaint ourselves. Because clearly y'all have endeared yourselves to me in some way, shape, or form. And I need to know why. And that's it. And she just looking.
Right. As the 4 of you, seemingly the stars of maybe even the saviors of the town in some ways, begin to write what was turned over. You can see that the bravery that you're currently showing is giving bravery to the folks that had panicked, and the eyes that were peeking up above the window begin to come out, and sheepishly at first, but the first few give more confidence to the rest of the town, and they begin to come and help. And as Hosen, you probably know this, but one of the things that has made Turst Fields so unique and a nice place to live is the feeling of the community of the town, that in times of struggle, they come together. And that is no different now as people are coming to not um, not to necessarily mourn, although there will be time for that, but to at least restore some order of the town. And you see, actually, you know what? Cinnabon, you see this woman with that close cropped hair and the golden chains woven through the hair, come and walk over, and she's very very nervous and shy, and she says, I knew you were a strong warrior, but I didn't realize that you and your friends too were able to do such amazing things.
I didn't either, actually. So we're almost on the same page there. Are you all right?
Yes, I feel as though I am going to have more emotional damage to right the wrongs of. And she kind of looks around at the folks that are, that are helping at the moment.
Wait a second. You said more. You had some prior to this?
No, I was referring to what I found within you.
Oh, right. All right then. Well, I suppose we're going to get a great crack at that then.
She kind of turns to the rest of you as well and says, I cannot thank you enough. I realize it was scary, but you all fought bravely, and especially you, Hosen. When you are ready, come to the infirmary, and I can treat your wounds if you need. But then she longingly looks at some of the saddlebags that are on the floor, and she says, I'm afraid that's not going to be enough for us.
It's a start, though.
Yes, I wonder why they took it, or why they could have just asked. Well, there will be time for that later. But I suppose you don't think you could track them down, do you? People are going to starve here.
Maybe we could ask him. I point over to the still alive, just stabilized leader. He might know. He might tell us, he might not.
Very interesting. Yes, that is definitely a possibility. I say as the DM. Okay. Well, I'll bring him to the infirmary as well and keep him under surveillance. And we'll just keep that as an option, just in case. Is that his horse there? And she gestures over to this. Yeah. Well, maybe there's something in there that could give some clues. And when she says in there, she doesn't mean in the horse.
Yeah, and
It's-
the
There's like
saddlebag.
there's like
Yeah,
bags
got
and
it.
stuff.
Certainly. Well,
The puzzle's
surgery.
inside.
In the horse?
What's another horse, right? No.
Full on tauntaun moment. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's.
Right. Empire Strikes Back.
No.
I don't. I'm a bit concerned of if we find out whatever this was for. This is just one run, right? Could be larger, worse. What are we unpacking here?
I don't know. But I suppose there will be time for all of that afterwards. And for now, I'm going to take him into the infirmary, and I'll let you all decide what to do next. That's not my specialty. My specialty is, healing the wounded. But it seems like all of yours is action.
I don't know if I'd go that far. What? And
I'm a variety pack.
I'll walk over to the horse.
Okay. So there is the saddlebags that are on the back that are full, and you see there is like underneath the saddlebags, they lay on top of another sort of like zippered pouch.
Go after the zipper first.
Okay. So you unzip the zipper and you reach your hand in and you pull out a piece of parchment that is kind of folded into a couple of different squares on very fine stationery. Okay. You see a note that is handwritten in very fine penmanship. And this note says, Yeti, the disruption is a go. Complete the mission and return. There is no signature.
I'll just show it to everybody. I'm just gonna hand it to Big Mama Mocha.
The fuck is a Yeti?
Can I make a nature check for that question?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Even though I'm sure it's a name or nickname, but oh geez, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's 17.
Yeah, so I mean, you have heard of Yeti as a kind of catch-all term for folks for like monsters of the north. But beyond that, yeah, you don't really know. Now, I was kind of hoping for Alex to get back because
Yeah, I know.
I think this is like the perfect time.
I know.
And that's where we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
I'll catch you up in the after show.
In
But
the
it was too good of a button not to stop there.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
totally
perfect.
amazing. Totally
All right.
funny.
Great job, everybody. That was incredibly fun.
Oh my god, it was so awesome. Holy
You
shit.
all did a really, really great
You
job.
did amazing.
Very proud of
Amazing.
y'all. All right, so let's go around the horn, do some plugs. Let's start out with Alex.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Alex. Thank you all so much for being here. First time in the stream campaign, and it's been so lovely being with you all. And I'm just so thrilled to be here. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch as Ziva RPG. We'll love if you drop a follow. And thank you all so much for having me. Thank you, Empath Theater. I'm just going to keep being blown away by you all. Thank you so much.
All right, let's kick it over to Rain.
Hello, I am Rain. Where you can find me is on Instagram and on TikTok, both the same handle, which would be Virgo_Rain, RAYNE. This has been fun. This was fun tonight. I'm definitely bringing the chaos. So actually all of us are. I think I'm actually the one that's going to more of a milder tone to the little spicy guys that are up in here. Oh, I love it. So no, this is fun. I'm so looking forward to this. But yeah, that's me.
Cool. Excuse me, Smitty.
I just needed
perfect. That's perfect. That's just beautiful.
Smitty here. You can find me at PBSmitty on the interwebs, mostly on the Twitters. You can also find me once again beginning on September 15th, Thursday night, AM GM's in the PM. Coming at you live at sometime in the evening, 9 o'clock Eastern, maybe.
Well, the goal is to make sure that it is as vague as possible, so that when the people when they do find out what the time is, it's sort of like we're creating what is that content that is like, it's guerrilla content where like that's what we're doing. We're doing guerrilla marketing, just bad.
Thursday nights, 9 p.m. unspecified time zone. Do your best to figure it out, and maybe you'll get to watch us right here on the Amphitheater.
Just pop my back.
Check all of them. All the 9 p.m. time zones.
All right. And then what about you, Jacob? What are you up to these days?
Oh, absolutely nothing. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Plick, Dual King Jacob on the Twitters and the Instas, etc. Fucking A. What a great fucking time. I missed hanging out on the internet on Tuesday nights. I'm so glad to be back. So I wasn't going to have a Duval's Give Me Journey tomorrow because I was supposed to be going to London, but I'm not anymore because I got into a car accident and I've got whiplash. And flying 12 hours over the Atlantic Ocean seems like a really bad idea for me. So we're going to play some Pokemon tomorrow. Maybe even wrap it up. We're at the end of Pokemon Fire Red. So that's at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We can talk about what happened tonight, or we just talk about video games or just hang out and stuff. On top of all of that, Fridays, Fables, Once a Future, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, carrying it Cover Studios Twitch, so check that out. Bi-weekly Thursdays, this is a O&O week, so Outcast and Outclassed over on Waffles Maple Syrup. Our Pathfinder 2E AP that is so fucking good. So you gotta check that out. Obviously, week Blood In, Blood Out, which we're on the back half of that, so check that out. Also, every episode's on YouTube. This will be on YouTube too. And then Sundays, of course, Duel on Dragons or Dragonless Dragons of Rebirth over on So Many Games Twitch channel. So yeah, nothing. Not doing really anything at all. Yeah, excited to see where this story takes us. But what do you?
Me too. I am very excited for this. I was telling the group I was very nervous the last 10 minutes or so, but I knew once we kicked off that there was some magic there.
Yeah,
so
the April Ray gun moment.
The chemistry is awesome. I'm very, very excited for this. You can find me at Philadelphia on Twitter, and I think Instagram there as well, although it's mostly just meat pictures. So I wouldn't recommend following me on Instagram. Anyway.
What kind of meat, Bill?
The biggest. So you can find me opposite PB Smitty sometime in the future at evening time, being silly and doing jokes and mostly just making Smitty kind of eye roll for about 50 minutes. So that is our silly show, AMGMs in the PM. More to come on that later. But beyond that, you can find us all back here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for episode 2 of Fields of Wonder. We're gonna rate somebody, yeah?
Yeah, but before we do that, we'd like to remind you of a few things before we get out of here.
Thank you for reminding me, yes.
No worries. That Black Lives Matter Stop API hate. Trans rights are motherfucking human rights. If you do not have a uterus, you don't get to fucking tell people with uteruses what to do with theirs. It's not your uterus. Shut the fuck up. And lastly, and not leastly at all, if you have the opportunity to, make sure that you choose love. Thank you all for being here. We are going to raid Zilzaddy, friend of the show. They're playing some tabletop RPGs because we didn't roll enough dice tonight. We should all hang out and roll some more. So we're gonna go hang out over there. Drop some love from us over there in the chat, and we will see you tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or whatever the hell. And thanks again for being here. Any last words, Billiam?
Not at all. I think you covered it.
Cool. See you next time.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And we are out.
Fucking awesome. That was great.
Holy
So good.
shit, you guys. That
Holy
was so
shit.
fucking good.
I am speechless. Okay,
Yeah,
what the fuck
yeah,
happened at
go-
the end? I was going to explode. I was like, okay, I can make it real quick. I'll just
The
go and then I'll be
worst
back.
fucking time. It's for you to go.
Should have
Okay,
had a bucket.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I was like,
Thought we had a plan.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a bucket.
I almost brought a bucket. I was like, I was going to explode. What? So sorry. I'm
It's totally
so sorry.
cool. It's
Dude,
hilarious.
dude,
actually.
don't worry about it at all. No, it's not. It's not a
Cool,
problem.
cool.
It was like I said. It was just the absolute perfect time
Perfect
to
timing.
cut from a like a button perspective.
It was.
Mhm.
The
And
button. Yeah.
then they started discussing the button, and I was like, no, button,
No,
button,
not the button.
The button.
So anyway, to
Yeah.
catch you up, essentially, Cinnabon went to the horse, went inside the pocket, unzipped it. There was a letter inside, and the letter
Pocket
said,
on the not inside the horse, as we reminded.
"Yeah, in the saddlebag." And the letter said, "Yeti, distraction is a go." Shit, what did I say? Basically, distraction is
But anyway, it's fine.
No,
Yeah,
response
Essentially, your go for
needed or
launch
something.
is essentially
Yeah,
what the note said.
go for launch
Yeah.
on the distraction mission, and then meet back where you're supposed
And
to
then
meet.
Big Mama was like, "What the fuck's a Yeti?" And I was just like, "Well, the Yetis are blue. You should really find them in tundra." And then that's what we got.
Amazing. Incredible.
So it's perfect. It's gonna be perfect to pick up on, no doubt.
I love that. Perfect.
So,
10 out of
Bill,
10.
do you? I'm assuming your 5 minutes is smoke related. Do you want to do the usual and bring us outside?
Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna switch over to my phone then.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
So, is anyone not familiar with what I'm talking about when I say stars? Stars. What's I always forget one of these actually. Stars, wishes, and feelings. That's what it is. So, one of the things that I started doing a lot lately, because like we typically we'll hang out and chat for a second and check in, and just as a self-care perspective, but also I begin to found it really valuable to give concrete feedback. And stars are essentially oh my god, star to and I'll give a perfect example. He can't even hear me, but superstar to fucking Bill for absolutely crushing tonight.
Yep.
And go into why and stuff like that. I try not to give, because it's really easy to be everybody's amazing and so I try to only give 2 or 3 stars to make them mean something. Wishes is this is what I want. I want out of what's next. Feelings are that was amazing, I feel great, or that was really shitty for me, I'm having a bad day and that didn't help, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. So it gives sort of context around specific pieces of feedback essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been starting to, because I'll give you an example. For our Outcast and Outclass game, so we'll go offline at 11:30, and we'll be talking about how awesome everything is until 2 o'clock in the morning, which is to the point where we literally designed a shirt in aftercare that we released. It's so bad, but it's an amazing shirt. But it's just we could have probably been a little bit more respectful of our own time. But we're all best friends. For context, we're all getting a tattoo together at PAX U, an Outcast and Outclass tattoo.
Incredible.
Yeah. Did you have a chance
10
to
out of
listen to
10.
any of it, by the way,
I
Alex?
love-
Yes. Okay, I did on the write down. I listened to the first 2 episodes. I fucking loved it.
Dude, it's like so good.
It's so good.
so
I
good.
love the characters. I love, especially like, forgive me, I keep forgetting the DM's name.
Sarah.
Sarah. Yeah, how
That's
they,
her
like,
first
structure-
GMing game ever.
ever. How,
Isn't that unreal?
how she set that first episode up
outstanding.
is so good.
outstanding.
Outstanding.
That's
10
why
out
I
of
started
10.
calling her GM Badass.
So
'Cause
good.
She's on another level again.
A whole nother level. I can't believe that was the first
And
time.
it's like, but it's like mind-boggling. It's like you've done literally like 20 sessions ever.
yeah.
I was not that good at 20 sessions at all.
Same.
In fact, I would argue I was terrible. So like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like it's
I'm
wild.
bad.
I'm bad.
I know that feeling.
Bill,
I'm
can you
bad.
hear us from outside?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
But because dude, message me when you have things to say, because like I will talk about O&O till like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's a special game. That's a real special game. So who wants
so
to
damn
do? I could go first, just to provide like context for like what it typically sounds like, I guess. And then whoever wants to go next. So Bill, I don't know if you heard this, but I gave you a star because you had absolutely nothing to worry about. You were outstanding. You set the fucking pace perfectly. And I don't know if you could get a better first session to drop people in and make people care. And I think the feedback from a Twitch chat perspective totally speaks volumes. And I think you should be super duper fucking proud.
Hey, I really appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. My second star will go to Smitty because Kenkus are fucking hard to play, and you made it look super easy. I love the choices that you made. I absolutely loved the outward character moments. I think I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I feel like it sort of allowed and gave space for everybody else to also like be like, oh, this is a thing that we can do. That's how you shed the spotlight. Like that's the perfect example of that. And I thought you were amazing.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm gonna and again, I'm not gonna give a star to everybody, but I do want to make a special point around feelings, my feelings portion, because like I feel like Alex and Rain, you're lying, and that this was not your first like on stream thing. You're fucking naturals. You were amazing. I feel so good, and I feel so happy that I had an opportunity to even be part of saying like, this is a good idea. This is what we should do. This is what the amphitheater is about. This is something that I'm super passionate about. You are two incredibly amazing examples of what we're trying to build here, and thank you for being here. So that's my feelings. My wants, or my I forgot my own
Wishes.
my wishes. Yeah, I forgot my own words. My wishes is I did not expect this to come together this quickly. We're already there, in a way. I just want to continue to pedal to the metal and build on the what's the term? The momentum that we've built already. I'm super fucking stoked for every Tuesday. I mean, don't be wrong, I would be already, but like this is already has the makings of something really, really special. So that's me.
I'll go. I want to give a star to Alex for I wish I was big thing. That was
perfect.
fucking amazing. I fucking loved it when you did that. So good. So in the moment. Rain, I want to give a star to you because I was feeling very slightly nervous about my character choices. And when you went maternal, like when you did not immediately jump in, when you were like looking out for second, that was like, that moved me so much. And I just absolutely love when you did that. That was amazing. Feelings. So good to be back in the saddle with